How's it going, everybody? For today's beer review, we're going to be taking a look at Lagunitas' The Hairy Eyeball, an American strong ale. So this is the Hairy Eyeball, which is probably one of the weirdest names for a beer that I've come across since I've started drinking beer. As you know, Lagunitas has a ton of weird and kind of esoteric writing on their labels, so I'll just go over it here quickly. It says it is a perennial release, not perennial, or perhelial release. It says 91,400,000 miles. Don't know what that means. Around the label it says, "We are the Lagunitas Brewing Company. Wish you and yours all the best as together we enter the new year. Thanks for your trust and support, and we'll keep an eye out for you. Here's looking at you." This beer comes in at 9.1% alcohol by volume, which is to be expected with the style as an American strong ale because it's strong. The commercial description on this beer says, "Laying there, staring up at the ceiling, head pounding, last night was a dim recollection. How did he get home? Was he alone? Looking to the left and right, the answer was yes, maybe. His head was full of rag water, bitters, and blue ruin. His teeth felt like he'd been chewing aluminum, and his breath smelled like a burning tractor tire. There was a wrenching knot somewhere between his liver and East St. Louis, and he couldn't be sure whether or not he'd wet himself. A yellow sine wave rang in his ears so loud it made his teeth itch, and he was sure that if he touched his skin anywhere, it would include a rhythmic, retching jag. Even in the face of all that, he found himself smiling at the realization that today represented the fresh breast of a new year, an undiscovered country, and also that there was still one warm, half-full, flat, redolent, hairy eyeball on the nightstand. Yes, there is a God. Call us sometime." So obviously this is kind of like a New Year's release for them, and it's talking about a guy who partied too hard, and he's hungover as hell, but he's got this, so I guess that's their idea of a hangover cure. I usually just don't drink when I have a hangover, but, you know, to each their own. Anyway, not any more information. Oh, yeah, it says IBUs. IBUs are 56.66, which is approaching the level of what I would call like an Irish stout bitterness. The original gravity is 1.090, so if you care, I don't really care about original gravity. I'm going to be drinking this today out of a Duvel snifter glass. I have this thing, it's still decently chill. I know you're supposed to have your strong ales at room temp, or not room temp, at cellar temperature. So it'll probably warm up as we're drinking, because I have had it sitting out for a while. So I'm going to take this cap off carefully, because I don't have a blue Lagunitas cap. Alright. The cap is off. Let's give it a pour here. The color, a nice kind of caramel mahogany brown color. I'm going to pour this straight down the center because the head potential seems rather low on this. Alright, what do you think? Formed about a 3/4 a finger to a finger of light tan colored head. The color, though, is fantastic on this. It looks a lot like Backwoods Bastard. It's an extremely dark ruby brown color, as you can see. That looks fantastic. The head is decently thick and creamy. Not too terribly many bubbles streaming up, so I don't think the head is going to stick around for long. But on appearance, I mean, that gets a 10. It looks awesome. Let's give it a smell. Smells pretty awesome, too. You've got... By the way, I have no kind of taste notes or anything at all, so I have no idea what to expect from this beer. Malts, slight touches of kind of beery beer Pilsner notes. Very small trace amounts of a nuttiness to it. Honestly, it's not too terribly complex, but it's not bad. Really and truthfully, it's kind of this malt molasses sort of thing going on, and it's very reminiscent in the smell of a Founder's Curmudgeon, like an old ale. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nothing crazy or special, but it's pleasant in its own way. It just has a rich maltiness and a rich kind of molasses, blackstrap molasses kind of thing going on. And it's good. Let's give it a taste. I like it. Very interesting, though. This is going to be one of those kind of tastes that I'm going to have a hard time pinning down for you. There's malts, very light caramel sweetness to it. I mean, extremely light, like 1%. There's some light stout qualities to it. There's also some very light Bock qualities to it, perhaps even getting to a level of like a light Scotch ale. It's kind of all over the place. It's good. Honestly, it's just a strong beer. Is what it is. And this obviously it's a strong ale. So this is what I would consider, even though it's such high ABV. The tastes on this are what I would call one of two things. I think if you were to sit by the fireplace, this could definitely be kind of a wintry sort of sipping beer. But I think mainly this is kind of a food pairing beer. And what I mean by that is it's not necessarily something you're going to sit around and just like write taste notes on and review and critique like I'm doing right now. And enjoy like just a crazy, in-depth experience. This is something that I think you could pair well with food as a drink. Obviously, you drink it, yes, but I mean like as something to go with food. Like I could see me eating braised short rib, steak, lots of heavy meat, lots of smoky foods as well. Pretty much any type of like barbecue, and I don't mean like barbecue sweet sauce, but like smoked meats, things like that would pair really well with this, in my opinion. As far as a rating goes, I have a hard time giving this a style rating because when you say American Strong, that can mean anything. But I do want to give it an overall rating, and I think it deserves an A, not an A minus, not an A plus, but just a flat A. So I'm thinking about like a 93 to a 95 overall. It's very good for what it is, and it's something kind of interesting and unique. Definitely worth giving it a try. I wouldn't say it's worth stocking up on it and like letting it sit back and age and all that jazz. But yeah, 93 to 95, somewhere in there for me. If you're looking for something that drinks kind of like a thick, malty, molassesy, kind of like or curmudgeon, like if you've had curmudgeon and you're into that, this would be the beer for you. Anyway, that has been my beer review of Lagunitas, the Hairy Eyeball. Hope you guys enjoyed the beer review as always, and stay tuned for the next one.